Yo, guys. So I was asked to make a review on LiDAR, but more specifically, look at what has changed since some of the recent patches, specifically the healer nerfs and a little bit the goalkeeper buffs. Because I know I've already made a video on this before, so I'm going to be mainly looking at that, but I'm still going to talk about the rest. I'm just going to do it a little bit faster and then really specify on this part. So, as always, if we're looking at it in light, all strikers are pretty much well in light dark. So I'm specifically in that aspect. Uriel, Latios, just even Hero, just consider them trash. You got three strikers you want to be running. You're running Fonchi. If you're not, you're gonna be running Lucid. If you're not, you're running Vetoes. It's pretty much that the way it goes down. Lucid can be extremely powerful in a two-passer front, really good for countering the current meta. Vetoes, thanks to his element, is able to counter both Presti and Thunder One, who's Glade, pretty damn well, especially you can get him to 100% penetration, so it can go really down. Now, let's start looking at what kind of line you would build of them. If you're going Lucid, it's pretty damn easy to know how to build it. You're going to be sticking in a Balteon, and you're going to be sticking a Shura. If you don't own a Shura, you should own a Shura. I'm going to say you don't own a Balteon. Let's be a little bit more realist. If you don't own a Balteon, you can pretty much go to any other passer till you get one. But if we were to own any other passer, I would say you could go for Scylla. She did get her ass nerfed pretty damn hard, but she is still a decent passer. And if you're not a fan, there's a long list of other ones. I'm going to say Sky is also an option. But really, Balteon and Shura is just going to complement her kit so well because thanks to that, she can get through passives and them enough crit to be able to be running SOB. And anyone can understand how SOB Lucid is broken. Plus, pretty damn high penetration if you do it well. Now, that's the way of doing Lucid. Vetoes is a little bit different. Now, you don't need to own Balteon for this one. You can just run Shura, that's fine. And what you're going to be running with that is the best leader that's actually happened to Light Dark in ages, who's going to be our good old, well, what? You see, this is why I hate how this thing is built. It's pretty damn hard to find people. Our good old friend Armel, who I've been running and who is honestly godlike, if well built. I 7-star her and maxed out completely to test her and was worth it. So you're going to be sticking that. Shura, if you own Balteon, you stick Armel, you max out Armel, you max out whatever two of the passers. It's going to work pretty well. Now there's a big discussion on should we give him the new stone that gets more attack power and reduce life. It really depends your style. It depends what you're aiming for. It's up to you. Now that we can discuss later on when you're specifically talking about a Vetoes, but that's a bit more technical. And for Avanchi, well, it's going to be really easy. You stick Armel because she's going to give him penetration, critical rate, and damage increase, who's, well, everything Avanchi has ever cared about. Oh, did I mention she's completely broken and gives him reflex so he can actually reflex steal and shoot again? You know, I have questions when I see my Avanchi hit 2.4k reflex. I'm not going to question it. So you're going to be running that, and honestly, if you don't own Balton, run Shura. He needs the crit, and if you're able to run enough crit on him, he might even be able to drop Willow Metatron for SOB, and then you can watch Magic go down. Of course, if you're able to reroll him for Dragon Bone, it's even more broken. I'm maybe going to do it at some point, I don't know. I'm going to wait for a new legend. If I don't like them, I'll spend all the DM on that. It's just a bit too expensive in my opinion. Now in midline, there are some new players that have been added. The thing is, optimally, you should be running Legends. I'm going to say it right now. The optimal midline for Light Dark is basically Legend galore. On the left side, Duke. In the center mid, Metatron. And since we're in Light Dark, you can't actually run Victoria on the other side, who we all know is the exact meta. You can run Celestia. Why? Because since the Spirit nerf of the healers, who's pretty much why this video is about, she's actually really broken. Because if you penetrate her, you lose Spirit. Okay, the thing is, generating Spirit is now much harder. So it gains a lot more value. Not to mention, her active is broken. She just gave critical resistance decrease to the entire enemy team, meaning critting the enemy striker is again going to be easier. And as I mentioned, everyone pretty much wants to run SOB and Light Dark, so let us do it. And that's going to help. Not to mention, she's going to reduce the reflex and max life, who people haven't realized how broken that is in PvP, because reducing the enemy's max life by 20%, especially since in light we have some backline totems that also reduce max life, means we're facing 300 people, 200 life people with 2k. If you want to check that, I posted a video later on of me fighting another light dark team, and it was really sad to see the difference in life. I do run some managers of vitality because this was asked, but it's still pretty damn sad. Now, if you don't run free legends, who yell, well, we don't all, we kind of want to. So Metatron center mid, if not Ceresia center mid, if not Lynbell center mid, surprisingly strong. If you don't like Lynbell, go Sammy. I mean, come on, I've gave you 4 units. You should own one of these. If you don't, scout them. Come on, 2 5-stars that are classic in there. Now, on the sides, legends really, really help. If you don't, one that we honestly just consider a legend, to be honest, Alice. Stick Alice. Just don't question it. Look at that beautiful 45% reflex debuff. It's the equivalent of a legend. So I just still consider her a legend. It's, in my opinion, she is one. You know, you could even run Alice. What's her name again? The one that got a buff recently, who is Lynbell, and then you can run Jeet on the side. I know someone named Zital is going to be really happy about me advising him, so that's also a pretty good option. In light, I really wouldn't advise trying to run a midline. It's just going to be too weak. They don't have some good base values. They don't have some good totems. It's just usually not worth it. I know they're trying to build new units, but if you look at their kits, there's already something really wrong in the way they're being built. What I'm going to be thinking of is, what is the name of the guy we just got? Is he... Oh, someday I'll remember their names, but that's going to be in some while. I think it was Muspel who got an EE. I can't remember specifically which one who got it, and it came with only 25% instead of 30%, and they gave him counterattack resistance. So kind of says something. If you're a reflex totem with counterattack resistance, mean they already know you're not gonna work. Was it Cassiel? I can't remember which one of these two. So just don't waste time with the light units in the midline. They're just bad. The legends are good. Sammy's good. Anything else should just be trash. Even the legends and stuff that can be put in midline, honestly, fits better in the light back, who's kind of weird and sad. But it is true. I mean, I've seen a lot of lately used TLs in the backline who are doing some pretty damn good work. I know a friend of mine really likes to run Mikhail in the backline, so that works. That's really, really sad, but it works. Now, if we're looking at the backline, there's only 2 types of backline. There's basically, you own Presti, you don't own Presti. If you own Presti, you just go with the Presti backline. That's basically Presti, the Dark Elemental, Res Totem, Patrika, you stick a Lindbergh, you stick a Black Ivy, and you stick a Shaman, and you just watch them cry themselves to sleep. Okay, on top of it, if you can get her to have the light unique, I don't remember if you need to reroll for it. I see it all the time, so I don't know. Do that. It's beautiful. Don't ask questions. Watch people cry. Now, if you have Duran and you're going Rainbow, that's when you're going to be looking at penetration resistance. But we're talking light dark, so I'm not going to be proposing that. If you're not doing that, the second best option is going to be going light. You have 2 roads. The critical resistance light with K, who's going to be extremely powerful when combined with the Alice and Cerestia in midline. You combine that in the backline with, well, his awesome passives, to be honest. You can stick some other great line buffers with him, and he's going to have like Black Ivy. He's just going to have some great critical resistance. He has some nice DR. If you can keep him alive and get him a form of self-healing, hint, the new light unique, it's just going to work. So I don't think I need to explain too much how K is going to work. And if you're running a Scylla, well, I've been running her for ages. You can look at my videos. Now, if you don't like Leia, you can switch that up for a Michael. But now the real issue now that this video is really addressing is healing. How exactly has it gone down, and what should we be doing? Now, the first issue you need to know is healers are honestly trash. I'm going to say it right now. Metatron being penetrated 2 times is the equivalent of an active heal, who is just sad. I'm sorry to say it, but it's sad knowing that it costs 2 spirit bars to pull off. And Metatron being penetrated is like the most common thing that has ever happened. I'm not even telling, she doesn't even need to die for it to activate on top of it, so it's really bad. Now, the thing is, what a lot of people have done to actually counter that is They're running goalkeepers with even more self-healing, so especially for light, they're running both of them with the new light unique, even Asilla. Um, and they're going to try to put in backline something that can generate spirits. So you're going to be seeing a lot more Ustiels and Elua on the side instead of the healers. The idea is to use them to generate spirit so you can pull off the other actives that are going to matter, because as much as we've lost the healer actives, we've actually lost the best spirit generator that Light Dark ever had. Also, his name was Virgil, aka Saltmeister, who got his spirit generation nerfed 2 times. Come on, BB, that's kind of going a bit hard on the poor guy. The rest of his kit is honestly trash. If you still want a healer, I'm gonna say switch to Black Ivy, as much as I have issues with Black Ivy Shaman combo, but I do believe at this point it's even worth it. There's no good reason to stay with Virgil anymore. I'm personally trying to see who I'm going to build. I've started building Ivy on the side, and I'm going to do some test drives. So, yeah, Virgil, I'm sorry, but you should no longer be run. It's nice that he can heal on the line, but Ivy can do the same, and it's just better. So, yeah, that's kind of the issue in the back line. You want to have some forms of spirit generation. I've actually seen a few people even run Phil. I've seen them run one of the new dark units. So people haven't actually realized how broken he can be, especially combined with a center mid Celestia, and as always, the name is Pinot. If you combine that, they're basically never going to have spirits. So you can also try to play the game of stopping them from ever having the spirits to do anything. You know, Pinot, Cheeto, Celestia. Light's got some pretty decent spirit-sucking units. And if you want to just go nuclear, stick a Malcolm. And you know they won't have spirit. That is like nuclear for spirits. So those are some good ideas. So really the idea now is going to be, unless you got Presti and we don't care about healing anymore and you just run Metatron because you have multiple legends, the idea is going to be you run something else on the side that just generates spirit, like Elua or Ustiel, because they've also got some nice actives or line buffs. You're going to be running a Cheetos. You're going to be running, and I'm kind of tired. The other one, that Shaman, and you're going to run whatever bonus one you really feel like running at this point. It's up to you. I kind of like Leia because of the way I run her, but if you're not a Leia fan, you're one of those people, you can run a second one. You can run Black Ivy. She can still be run pretty decently. You can run Ustiel and Elua. You can even run Marielle. We're kind of waiting for hopefully some better backliners because this is getting bad. And sadly, I've actually seen a decent rise in Dynamis because he's going to be able to heal the entire team with a pass. Who I'm not sure exactly how much the value is again, but it's pretty much, I think 2 or 3 passes are healer active once again, not to mention he's a passer. He's got some speed debuffs, and it's like when Diamandis starts being good, something went really wrong. So that's kind of the gig we're going at, is just the goalkeeper survives, the backline tries to buff him, and you hope you win fast. That's the new gig. Especially if you have Metatron who's going to heal the team. She's the official healer nowadays. So I hope this helps really answer the question of what is Light Dark going to do now that the healers are trash. Let's be honest. The only good one was really Virgil, and he kind of got destroyed. Ivy, we're really there for the line buffs and the steals, hopefully in a fast back. And Avnor, no one uses Avnor. Don't mention him. We don't need to know he exists. Unless you're running Mono Dark, and even then, it's just like, why? Why did they create this? So hopefully they're going to revert on the actives at least, because this is just an abomination. 15% is nothing. Legends do much more than that. Just Metatron and Celestia alone are much bigger impacts on the game than a Virgil active, and that costs 2 bars. You want to compare that to a Celestia active that paralyzes and reflex debuffs the entire enemy team? I've seen it. I've run it with Vonchi. I can shoot 3 times, 4 times even. They haven't ever moved a single time, and I will crush whatever is facing me. So please just give us back some active. I'm not saying give us the action bar if you want to take it all entirely. Give us the heals back. We need the heals. And it's not the actives that make the game cancerous. It's the passive healing. We all know it. We're not denying it. Okay, the goalkeeper's forms of passive healing are a problem. Metatron's a problem. Shu's a problem. Alios a problem. Let's not even get me started on Gibril. Those are the real problems, not healer actives that got 2 spirit bars after you nerfed the shit out of them. And I, again, feel really bad for the poor woman people. They finally got a good Miho EE, and they just, nerfed her to the ground. So she'll never be good. Just, yeah, sad. So hope this gives you guys a pretty good idea on how we're kind of trying to run light dark nowadays. And again, if you have any questions, comment, write it down in the description. Have a good day, guys.